Hello everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, welcome to Anna with Plants. My name is Anastasia. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video on Christmas Day, if you happen to be watching it on Christmas Day. I'm so happy that you decided to tune in today's video. We are going to be trellising a lot of hoyas and potentially repotting a couple. It depends on how the trellis is going to go. Most notably, I'm going to be re-trellising this hoya right next to me. If you don't know this plant too much, I've had it on my channel a couple times. This is the Hoya AH049 and it is getting out of control, and I bought a 4-foot trellis for it. So thank you to everyone that told me that bamboo trellises come in 4 feet, because that is what this guy is going to go on. So I will for sure be doing that in this video. Most of the hoyas that need trellising are going to be pretty tiny and really quick to do. I think I'm just going to start off with the really easy ones and then we'll build up and probably end on this one, since I have no idea how long it's going to take. Other things to note before we get started: I have a new microphone, so please tell me how the audio sounds to you. Hopefully it sounds better, and I really hope that it makes a difference, because I noticed when I was editing on my old microphone, sometimes it was this like really weird sound when the audio would cap off a little bit. That was really bothering me, so I hope this one, with this microphone, it's not going to be that much of a problem. This is going to totally go in fashion of the Halloween repot that I did, which is just to say I scoured the internet for some really good Christmas tag questions, and so we are just going to be going through 10 Christmas questions while I repot hoyas. So if that sounds like something that you want to tune in on, thank you so much for being here, and we are just going to get right into it. So mental note to self, don't ever fold your potting mat in half for an extended period of time, because when you finally start to use it next time, it is gonna do really strange things on you. Will not be doing that again, I guarantee that. I'm just gonna start picking up hoyas in no particular order, and we're gonna jump into the first question. So the first hoya that I have to show you, here's a little bit of water on it, that's fine. This is the Hoya verticilata silver heartleaf. I think I got that name right. Since you've hopefully last seen it, it's grown 2 leaves and they're super duper pretty. They have slight ribbing throughout the leaf and obviously a super pretty silver pattern, and on the back of the leaf it has another really pretty splashy pattern as well, and this is a very long trellis. This is a very long tendril. Whoever decided to name tendrils and trellises, I don't know, they're too similar. This is a very long tendril that needs to go on a trellis, and the roots look pretty good in my opinion. All of these were just watered. I know, who is she watering my hoyas on time? I don't know either, frankly. So this is the first one we're going to be doing, and let me just pull up the first question that I have. I think I put it on my notes tab. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to prop my phone off to the side here, so if you see me glancing over there, that's why. First Christmas question we got is favorite Christmas movie. We are gonna come in hot. We're gonna start with the most hard-hitting questions, I feel like. Christmas movies, I can't pick one because it really depends on what type of mood I'm in. I always manage to see a Christmas movie on Christmas Eve. It is just like a tradition that I've had since forever, but I do try to see at least like 3 or 4 Christmas movies in the span of December. This year we're definitely behind on that. I think we have seen our first Christmas movie together, which was Christmas Vacation, which is a classic. I forgot how funny that movie is, and just in the time that it came out, I think it came out in the late 80s, some of the jokes that they had now are, you know, not that big of a deal, but I'm sure back in the day were very scandalous. But yeah, we just saw that one last night. Definitely one of my favorites. Another one that I really love, and as cheesy as it might be, I gotta go with it, is Love Actually. I feel like a lot of people have seen Love Actually, but if you haven't, it's basically one of those movies where it packs in as many like stars as they can, and it has like all these plot lines going through it. When you first see it, it's kind of confusing to get them all straight, but yes, that would be probably one of my favorites to watch. I haven't watched it in a few years, I want to say, and I definitely have to be like in a mood to watch that movie. But that's a good one. I would say definitely top favorite. The other ones that I really love are, I don't hear this one talked about very often, so it might be one that's not super popular, but I love The Family Man. It has Nick Cage in it, and I think like a couple of other people. I forgot what the actress is. The actress that plays his wife is really good as well. So I love The Family Man. I just think it's just, yes, it's cheesy, but it's not over the top. And it's also a little bit kind of like a comedy. The last one that is a bit of a sad one. Okay, well, before I talk about it, let's just, oh, did my camera fall? Oh, I think my camera fell. That is so weird. Hold on, does that look better? Yeah, huh. I don't know when that happened. That was really strange. Sorry, at some point my camera fell and I totally did not notice. Well, this one's trellis. Before I continue blabbering, this one is all trellised. Just got it on a U-shaped trellis, very simple. Next one we're gonna do is the Hoya polystachya. I never really know how to say this, but it is another latifolia. It's got really deep grooves in it, so really awesome texture, and it also has black margins around the leaf. Very cool. It's got a couple of roots peeking through, so it's growing steadily, and it finally sprouted its first tendril. It's still kind of short, so I think I'm just gonna do like a really quick stake in it instead. But the last Christmas movie that I want to talk about is another kind of rare one that you don't hear people talking about, but I love it, is The Family Stone. It's kind of like that movie that has also a lot of actors in it that you'll probably know, but I just love that one because it's a little bit realistic and that it's a little sad. Okay, the camera fell a second time and I cannot anymore. I don't know where I left off talking. Bit of a sad movie, but I don't know, realistic too. I'm not gonna say what happens in the movie in case you do want to watch it. I don't know, it brings back all of the feels and it's just like a very comforting, cozy movie to me. So The Family Stone is probably my last movie that I'm gonna talk about. This plant I just trellised on a stake, and once it starts growing leaves and all of that, I'll go ahead and put it on a proper trellis. So this one is another really quick one. Next Hoya is going to be a little bit of a two-parter because there's one long trellis going, I did it again. There's one long tendril going here and then another long tendril happening over here because I put 3 cuttings into this pot. One still hasn't sprouted a tendril, but that's okay. Let me actually tell you what this is. Hopefully the tendrils haven't been hitting the microphone this whole time because that is also annoying. Anyway, this is the Hoya quinquinervia, and I had this plant for a really long time, but I decided to restart it this year because it was just growing really weird for me. The leaves were super misshapen, probably due to like flat mites or something like that. So I decided to restart it, and all of the leaves since have been growing a lot more normal compared to what it was. Let me just show you this partially variegated leaf. Do you see like those 3 stripes of variegation going through it? I thought it might continue, and I don't know, maybe it will, but I think this leaf kind of got mutated and it looks a little cool. Just wanted to point that out. And I think for this one, I'm probably gonna do a little bit of a taller trellis. I have 2 sizes, and honestly, I can't tell you right now what their heights are. I think this is more of like an 18-inch, and this one might be like a couple inches less than that. But because the trellises are, the tendrils, I'm gonna keep doing this during this video. I know the tendrils are pretty long. I'm gonna give it the taller trellis. And while I unpack this trellis, let me go ahead and look at the next question. When do your Christmas decorations go up? And by decorations, I'm probably assuming like outdoor decorations, the tree, any indoor, the works. So usually I like to do it as close to the beginning of December as possible. Just historically, that's kind of been my timeline to follow. This year, I don't know what happened, but the Christmas spirit hit me hard way earlier. So I think I actually put up my tree before Thanksgiving because when my mom and her husband came to visit, it was already up. So I put it up probably the weekend before Thanksgiving, which is as early as I've ever done it. And I kind of like it that way because it gives like another couple weeks where you can have your tree up before you have to take it down. So I think I might continue doing that the next few years, but usually the beginning of December. And also I noticed that other people were also putting up their trees super early this year. I want to say I saw other people putting them up as early as like early to mid-November, which I think is probably a little bit too early for me. I mean, to each their own. Whenever you want to put up your tree is no issue. It's, you know, not harming anyone if it's really early. I know this didn't ask it, but I am one of those people, guilty as charged, that takes forever, absolutely forever to take down their tree. I don't know. I get lazy after New Year's and I leave it up probably longer than what is socially acceptable. If I'm being totally honest, sometimes it'll even go until like late January, which is very shameful to put on the internet because I would feel like the beginning of January is okay, but then as the weeks keep going, like the shame increases, but I think that's the longest I've ever had my tree up. It was late January. This one I didn't have to clip up because I just kind of wound the tendrils around the trellis. So this one looks actually a lot better now, and hopefully the leaves will start growing on it too. So this is the Hoya quinquinervia on its trellis. This next one is probably gonna get a shorter trellis. I think I'm gonna put it on one of these. This is just like the Arca trellis, I think the medium size, if I remember correctly. This only has one new leaf since the last time you saw it, if you happen to see me haul this plant. The roots are looking good. Kind of hard to tell because again, it's just watered, but they are starting to grow down into the leca on the bottom. This is the Hoya aceh. This is the original propagation leaf on it, so it is super duper pretty. This is the leaf that grew in after it. I think I'm probably want to transfer it to a little bit of higher light because I kind of want more of the veination to show. Like this is super duper pretty, but this is just a little bit too dark for me. You can't really appreciate it that much. Oh, let me get another question going. Okay, have you ever had a white Christmas? I bet everyone in the Midwest right now is rolling their eyeballs because they have a white Christmas almost every year, I can imagine. I live in California, so you can guess that my answer is actually no. I have not had a white Christmas. The closest, though, I've ever got... So I used to live in San Diego before I moved to where I am now. And I think my boyfriend came home because you can hear his obnoxiously loud car. That is super strange. That was someone else's obnoxiously loud car, not his, because he didn't come home. Oh, side note, check out this Christmas sweater. I had it made on Etsy, and I am so obsessed. It says, "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal," and it has a very adorable photo of Luca on it looking extra derpy, and I think that's just so funny. We actually got matching ones, so I also got one for Cody too, and I can't wait to take a Christmas photo together. Luca has these PJs that are like extra tight on him because I accidentally gave him the wrong size, and so oh my god, I cannot wait to take a photo of all of us together. It's gonna be hilarious. Sorry, moving on. This one is one of like my favorite Hoyas. I can't believe I didn't show it in my last video because I really wanted to, but I don't know, it just didn't grow as much as I wanted to. However, what it did grow is absolutely freaking stunning. This is the Hoya waymaniae cloudy sky, and you can see by its name, it is very cloudy. The splashes look like clouds, and this is the adorable little baby leaf growing. Focus, please. Yeah, look at this adorable leaf. They come in like this purpley pink color and like the edges are quite dark, and then after it expands, it kind of begins to lose that. But I just think this Hoya is so unique. It's just the leaf shape and also the feel of it, so velvety. Really good one, guys. If you haven't gotten your hands on it, highly recommend it. What were we talking about before I got distracted? Okay, white Christmas. So used to live in San Diego. The closest I ever got to a white Christmas was Temecula, which is kind of more east of San Diego. They randomly had snow one year on Christmas Day, and everyone was just like shocked that that happened. So that's really the closest I've gotten to a white Christmas. Very not excitingly. I would love to go to a place that would have one. It's just, we never really travel around Christmas time. We're not big travelers. We tend to stay at home, and California hardly ever happens here. I'm sure everyone that lives in a place that's much, much colder, like Canada, or the Midwest, or even the East Coast, is probably rolling their eyeballs like, lucky you, Californian. Actually, before I go on to the next question, if on the very off chance there's a child, if you have a child that's also tuning into this video, you have been warned that we are gonna go into Santa Claus. If they don't know yet, then I highly suggest you skip forward to the next question. Don't say that I didn't warn you and I destroyed your Christmas this year. You were warned. What made you realize the truth about Santa? Now that it's all the people that understand that Santa Claus is not real, I found out that he wasn't real kind of early on. I want to say it was, I can't remember how old I was. If I really try, I can't remember. I was young, not like super young, but also not too old to continue to believe in Santa Claus. I think what happened was one night I heard my parents just making a lot of noise in the kitchen table area. I got up and went to check it out, and then I caught them red-handed going through all of the presents that Santa was going to get me that year. And then afterwards, I kind of put two and two together when I saw all the presents that I saw on the table, and also like how Santa's handwriting is suspiciously like my mom's handwriting. The magic was done for me. So yeah, that's how I found out. I caught my parents red-handed. That is the waymaniae cloudy sky. I don't know why that's hard to say. Got some good roots going and new baby leaf going. Really love this one. All right, the next one has no new leaves to show. There is one baby leaf growing, but I do have this really long tendril. This is the Hoya nong nooch. And it is one of those really deep, slightly splashy, I guess if you want to call it like prehistoric Hoyas, even though I don't know if I like fully buy into that theme of Hoyas. It just kind of looks like one of those like trash can Hoyas that aren't like super pretty, but they're just very cool looking. It's done really well. There's some roots growing out the bottom, and this is the baby leaf that I'm talking about right here. I can't wait to see what the new leaf looks like in my condition, because it can change for sure. I'm gonna do one of these bigger trellises with this one since the tendril is really long. All right, next question is, what is your favorite Christmas song? Okay, so for this one is actually easier for me than the movies. I have one Christmas song that whenever I hear it play, I always have to have it play through, because it is my hands down top song is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. The most popular person that you will have heard is by Sinatra. I also really like the Judy Garland version, and I don't know if she was the original one that did that song. I should probably know this because it's my favorite song, but the Judy Garland version is my favorite one. It's not often played because it's part of a movie, but yeah, I just love that song. I think it's like the perfect combination of incredibly cozy feeling with also it just being just melancholy. I love melancholy, in case you haven't noticed, just because I think like that is just life. Life is the combination of really good moments mixed with this feeling that you know you're in a happy moment, and at some point this happiness that you have will pass and you'll be in a not so happy moment, to just really appreciate those good times when they're happening. The older that I get, I totally understand that feeling so much. And so any movie that makes me feel that way, or any song that makes me feel that way, how good times are so fleeting. Ugh. 10 out of 10, really, really love those. So that is my favorite Christmas song. And this Hoya is all trellised. The tendril is pointing down. Hopefully it'll pick back up. If not, it'll die off and we'll have to sprout a new one. Again, not that big of a deal, but yes, all done with this one. Ooh, this next one. I can't believe I didn't add this one to my favorites too. Oh my god, there's so many Hoyas. But this is the Hoya species aceh, and the specific one is called David Neal. Got this one off of a seller on Etsy with 1 leaf, and now it's grown 3. And I just want you to gawk, appreciate, look at this leaf. This really hits all of the markers for me. The texture, the veins, the splash, the edges of the leaf are also kind of like sharp, and it has a really cool back. Look at that really dark purple midrib. So freaking gorgeous. I can't. This is why Hoyas will be one of my favorites for sure. I'm gonna give it probably a bigger trellis because why not? Next question. Do you open any presents on Christmas Eve? We do. We have a history of, well, I guess you can call it a tradition of every single Christmas Eve, we open 1 gift. And I think it really depends. I know people that don't open any gifts on Christmas Eve and will just wait for Christmas morning. I think I knew a family that opened all of their presents on Christmas Eve, which I think is a little strange, if I'm being honest, but you do you. It's your Christmas after all. But we're the family that picks 1 present to open on Christmas Eve, just like as a little teaser for the next day. Comment down below what you guys do in terms of Christmas Eve, because I want to know if that's normal to open 1 present or if it's not normal and you guys don't touch your presents at all on Christmas Eve. Would be interested to know. One of the really painful things about adding trellises after the fact is when you like scrunch the trellis into the substrate. I just know I'm breaking off roots, which is slightly painful, but that's okay. They grow back, don't they? Unless your Hoya has rot, in case they're all gone, which I have also had my fair share of root rot experiences too. And I got it at the perfect height because the tendril is still pointing upwards. Hopefully that tendril is still pointing upwards and you have all these beautiful leaves. So yeah, oh my god, a full trellis of this. Chef's kiss. So this is the last easy Hoya that I have to tendril. The rest are very much in need of TLC and will require me to untrellis it and then retrellis it. So this is the Hoya Germany. I don't know if it's species Germany. Might be species Germany. This is the original leaf I got it, and then it's grown several leaves since then. I think it's been a while since you guys have seen this Hoya, but another veiny, splashy Hoya, not splashy, another veiny Hoya. You know my taste, and I cut the tendril off at the top since it died, and I was like, whatever. I know this one's been tragically underwatered a lot, and I think that's probably why the tendril died. C'est la vie. Oh, I'll probably give it another tall one since it's been growing leaves. Let me just get the next question going. What's on your Christmas wish list for 2024? I pretty much am gonna have a good Christmas this year. We are a family of not really surprising each other on Christmas anymore. We're just more so, hey, what do you need? What do you want? And if it's like a big ask, you know, we'll just get cash towards it. Or if it's tinier things, then we'll just be able to purchase it for each other, but not a lot of surprises. That's kind of really how we do it for Christmas. And when it comes to my fiance and I just straight up tell him he is such a bad gift giver. There's been so many Christmases where I'm like, you know what, let's just like lower expectations and just get each other exactly what we asked for, because I don't need that disappointment anymore in my life. Ever since we've been doing that, no more problems around Christmas. So the things that I wanted this year that luckily I was able to get, very grateful that I was able to get because they were pricey. My mom bought me a brand new camera. Hopefully the next time you'll see me on this channel, I will be using my brand new camera. It is basically an upgrade of the one that I currently have. So this current one is a Sony ZV-1, and the one that she bought me so very kindly for Christmas is the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. That was what I asked, was just for cash towards it, and then she ended up buying me the whole thing. Really nice of her. I'm getting a new camera. That was one of the things that I wanted this Christmas. The other thing that I wanted this Christmas, which was an even bigger ask, was a new editing laptop. My laptop that I currently have is a MacBook, and I've had this MacBook for an obscenely long time because usually MacBooks don't last that long. I mean, laptops in general don't really last that long. I want to say I've had it since 2015, maybe 2014, so it's coming up almost 10 years I've had this laptop. So that is how outdated it is. It's like a MacBook Air, and editing videos on DaVinci Resolve, which is the program that I use, are so painful. The lag, the crashing, and also the time that it takes to create the video afterwards, so long. Like, I'm surprised that I've been able to make as many videos in 4K, no less, that I have this year, because it's such a pain in the ass to edit on that laptop. This year, Mac had a fantastic upgrade for their MacBooks. I think it's like the M4 chip processor, which is like the top line. I don't know. I'm not a computer geek, so I really can't tell you why it's so fantastic. I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of YouTube channels where people do know that stuff, and for editing, they said that this is a really good one to have, so I got the MacBook M4 Pro. So it's not like the lowest of the low, but it's not the M4 Max, which is like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I got like the mid-tier one, which I think will suit my needs just fine. I did also partially chip in for this as well. So we got it on the Black Friday deal, and then I also am paying for it partially as well because I could never have Cody pay for the whole thing. We don't have ballin' Christmases. This is like the nicest Christmas gift that I've gotten in a long, long time, and I just can't wait to use it. This is the Germany, all trellised and doing well. Next, I think I want to do the Sabah, which I showed in my last video, because I just need to untrellis it and retrellis it because it's doing weird things right now. I don't even know if you can see me right now behind this Hoya, but this is my species Sabah RP13. I got this long tendril that desperately needs to be retrellised, and I think I'm just going to retrellis the whole thing. I have it on partial zip ties because I had a moment this year where I couldn't find any of my clips and I just zip tied everything. If this is your first video of my channel, welcome, and also this is how ratchet we get here. Don't say you weren't warned, okay? Look at this super random tendril growing completely sideways. I feel like this one also needs a bigger trellis. I think I'll do like a double trellis. Let's move on to the next question. Any holiday traditions? I talked about watching a movie on Christmas Eve, so that is definitely a holiday tradition for us. Other tradition is I like to bake Christmas cookies. If you guys don't know, I'm a dietitian. I try to be a little bit health conscious. When you bake, you see the volume of sugar that goes into baked goods. That really troubles me, so I try to not bake as often. But for Christmas, I make an exception and I do make some cookies. Just a few days ago, I baked hundreds of cookies and I pass it out to my coworkers and my friends and my neighbors. That was amazing. I made ginger cheesecake cookies, arugula cookies, which if you haven't had arugula before, it is, in my opinion, the best Christmas cookie, 100%. It's so delicious. The other tradition that we don't do anymore, sadly, but it's just more so for practicality. We used to go to a Christmas tree farm to get like a real Christmas tree. We have now become a household that has an artificial tree. That is just because it's so easy. Don't get me wrong. I love real Christmas trees. That pine smell is amazing. There is really nothing else like a real Christmas tree. Even if you get like a candle, it's not the same. Please comment if you still get a real tree, or you get a real tree and you chop it down. That doesn't really happen in California, but if you are in an area where people actually do that and they chop down their own Christmas trees, and you are living the dream. Please tell me what it feels like to be God's favorite. I don't know if this was a bad idea or a good idea. It's looking a little jank. I should just retitle the name of this video to Watch Me Struggle Trellising Hoyas. Please don't judge my trellis skills on this one because it's bad. I just need my Hoyas to be more compact at this point in time. Hopefully over time it'll kind of start to straighten out a bit, but right now it looks bad. I might have to readdress the situation. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I am so sorry you had to see this. Let's do one easy retrellising one, and then we'll do this one, and that'll be the video. This one you also saw in my last video that I posted. This is the Meredithii round leaf. This is what it looks like, and it's just gonna be a really easy trellis job. Most memorable Christmas memory. Sounds a little bit redundant. When I was younger, I had this really big anime phase, which is so funny just to see the kids really getting into anime, because I was in anime when it wasn't even really popular to be in anime, if that makes sense. I remember one night, it was Christmas Eve, and you know, just being a young kid, you're so excited for the next day. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was just so excited, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just take a peek, because at this point I still believed in Santa Claus. And so I ran out and I checked under the tree very quietly, and I saw all of these anime action people, you know, and all these like gifts, because it was Santa Claus. My parents just put them under the tree unwrapped, and oh my god, I just remember that childhood glee feeling of it being Christmas morning and believing in Santa Claus. That still stands out to me as my best Christmas memory, just because of it's that unadulterated childhood happiness. It was just a good Christmas that year. And I didn't really have too many really good Christmases in my childhood growing up. It would always be a really stressful time for my family and stuff. This Hoya is all done. Like I said, really easy, and we will come back and tackle this beast. Let's just start untangling. I'm like slightly terrified. Did I even say what the right name of this was? Okay, it's the AH049. This might be the biggest Hoya that I own. I don't think there are any zip ties, which is nice. If I unhook everything, it should just fall away easily. Oh no, there's one zip tie actually down at the bottom. I spoke too soon. Let's see if I can just get it out. It's just, there we go. And I have a mass of leaves. Untangle them and see how many vines we're working with. That tendril just hit me in the face. This is one. This is a peduncle. Do you see it? Still has never bloomed for me, sadly. Another one that has two tendrils coming off of it. And then this is a whole new tendril without any leaves. There's so many roots growing out the bottom of the pot. Emergency repot sesh, of course. I'm gonna do it as gently as humanly possible. Here's the root situation. Let's start putting stuff in here. Got my substrate. Same tree fern pond mixture. I put about that much. That'll do. That'll do nicely. This is so comically tall. That's good. And I also have the last question. What makes the holidays special for you? Spending it with loved ones, which ironically, we actually aren't going anywhere for Christmas this year. Nobody's coming over. We're just having a very relaxed Christmas at home, just Cody and I. This year is not the best example of that. I will be honest with you there. Christmas on a Wednesday, I don't even have the whole week off. It's just easier to just do it this way. I'm sure next year will be a different story. If you are not super close with your family or you just kind of don't have that relationship with them, which I totally understand life is very complicated that way. The next best thing is, and I hate to sound cheesy about it, but just the feeling in the air, the vibes are unparalleled to any other time of the year. Love the Christmas lights. Really, the older that I've been getting, it's so not about the presents. Last year, Cody and I didn't even do presents because we knew we were trying to buy a house. This year, all of the Christmas music and the lights. Okay, let's just check for air gaps. I'm probably gonna have to stand up and trellis this. I know people say that the pros of Hoya is that they stay very compact and small, and for the most part, I do agree. However, I would like to put this plant as an exhibit of how that rule doesn't really apply. Just let it be known that Hoyas aren't always super small. This is madness, absolute and utter madness, that I have a Hoya that has gotten to this point. I don't know if this makes people want to get this Hoya or if it turns them off from ever getting this Hoya. Because you know how I grow things. It's been a really bad growing year for me. The hardiness of this Hoya is just testament to, even if you are not the best grower and not super on top of things, this one's super forgiving. I'm spilling substrate everywhere, but okay, here we go. Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely massive. And that is the AH049 trellised. And the end of the Christmas tag. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. I know you can't see me, but I'm sure you will appreciate seeing Luca. You deserve to have a fantastic and wonderful Christmas, and I hope you do just exactly that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to add any responses to any of the questions that I included in this tag down in the comments below, okay? He lasted just about as long as I thought he would. Please leave your responses down in the comments below because I love to read through them and I want to know what you guys do for Christmas. Again, very, very Merry Christmas. I love all of you guys and I will see you in my next video. Bye.